every creative's life. Before you do the one thing, you need to have money somewhere else, and you need to be making money to do the thing. So I think like how you leverage your 9 to 5 is very important. I can say like a couple ways that I've done it because we both work 9 to 5s. Like we're still in the midst of it, like, is one, which is my first question when people, because I've been asked this question before. Mm-hmm. It's, do you want to be an independent creative altogether? That's your first question. Yeah. Because it's okay to have a 9 to 5 and just have hustles, mm-hmm. and just have, not even have hustles, and have side passion projects. And still have a stable, like, that is okay if that's what you want to do. You can still get that creative energy off somewhere else, which is why I tell people that a lot. Like, if your 9 to 5 isn't creative, it's okay to get that energy off somewhere else. And you should. And you should. Yeah. You absolutely should. But I think one of the ways I've always leveraged my 9 to 5 was, besides just it being financially, I always took jobs that were interesting to me. Mm-hmm. I always took jobs. I always pursued careers that had some type of interest to me. They had some type of passion. I remember when I graduated, on my cap, it says, live what you love. And that's the only, that's literally my life motto. Yes. I only do things that I like to do. I only do things that I love to do. So that's one way that I've leveraged it. But it's been because I took jobs that I was interested in, which meant that while I was at the job, I was paying attention. Yeah. I was paying attention to the structure. You have to. Yes. You have to. And when I think about leveraging 9 to 5, there's obviously your more tactical ways of like very literal of how you use it in terms of like money, and we can get into that. But also too, something that I've always done is use the conflict, the scenarios that are challenging, the new skill sets, and you leverage that for your business, your creative hobbies, your experiences, and your skill set. It kind of builds up a resume for yourself. And so, like for me, for example, being in the space I'm in at my 9 to 5, negotiation is something that I had to build a muscle to do, that I can now use that. And also learning more about contracts and the different language around talent and sourcing talent, all of those things, I can pull that into what I do here at the Zill. Yes. Also too, even if you're working a customer service job, if you're, at a call center, whatever the case may be, if you're working in retail, whatever it is, if you have customer service and you're dealing with hard people, you're dealing with people at all. Yes, if you're dealing with people at all, it helps you to build conflict resolution. Yes. Building that muscle is going to be very important in your creative journey in your business. It is, and the only reason I laugh is because I can work with somebody and know when they have not had a job. Yeah. You can tell. You can tell very easily when their creative side and what they do over there is all they have. Mm-hmm. Because with having a 9 to 5, there's a structure that you learn. Yeah. That no matter where you work, it is a successful business because they hired you. Mm-hmm. It's successful. So what can you pull out of that? Whether it be how to send the email. Right. Literally how to send the email. Whether it be how to send the email, how to pick up a phone. Yes. How to have a conversation. That, and it can also show you what you don't want to do. Yes. Right? Because I learned very quickly I'm not a salesperson. Like, I was in sales. They said, girl, you got to get up out of here. You got to go. It's time to go. You have to go. But that taught me about myself, too. Like, it teaches your strength, and it also can teach you your weaknesses and, like, what you don't want to, or you just don't want to do that. Yes. Because when we say 9 to 5, I think a lot of people can think that we're talking about a corporate space. Yeah. Which some of that is talking about a corporate space. I can see a vast difference when people have worked corporately and then have side projects, because there's just a way you know how to handle yourself. But in general, there's muscles that you learn working for somebody else that makes you better. Because I don't think, if you don't know how to be an employee, I don't think you know how to be an employer at all. Yeah. So you have to understand. Absolutely. If you don't, If you cannot manage yourself at your own job, what makes you think you can manage other people?
Absolutely. I'm glad you said that.
You will not be able to. And I think and I really think that a lot of times creatives see this stigma around having a 9 to 5 and a stigma around having a job. But there's so many muscles that you can pull and use. We just named a couple, and they're so small. The thing about it is they're so small, and you don't think that it matters.
Yeah.
But so I can only speak from my perspective of being on set, sending an email to a producer, understanding if I'm in a costume design meeting, understanding how to talk, how to be a team player, how to work. Like there's so many just smaller things that you learn from working at these jobs and these muscles that you need.
Yeah.
And you need in your creative life.
And you start to understand business structures too.
Yes.
How the systems are created, and how you can potentially model that for your own business. So
no, that's true.
You get a lot of good intel too with working in these spaces.
That's true, especially depending on where you work and the things that you touch. So if you're actually able to get insight on how a company is ran and you're actually able to look at it behind the scenes and you're like, oh, okay, this is how finance is. This is how this looks. This is the step 1, 2, 3 process of getting a project done.
Yep.
Because really what people lack is project management.
Yep.
As creative, that's what you lack. You don't know how to be a project.
That's what you lack.
I'm trying to say, like, but if you are creative and you have good project management skills, you can do anything.
That's a really good skill to have in this space.
It's literally the only skill that you need, but you only learn that skill if you manage your own projects at work and there's actually like something at stake, like a paycheck.
Absolutely.
Like you have to do it at that level first.
And that's a good point too, because you learn your motivations. You learn what motivates you as a worker. And we could go on and on. Leadership skills, like how to be a leader. Because that's something that you learn at different levels, what leadership looks like and how, like you said earlier, how to, at each level of your career, what that kind of looks like in scope. So,
even having a boss and having a horrible boss.
Yeah.
At least you know what you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Like at least you know how you don't want to act and you know how you don't want to behave. So, but when it comes to working a regular job and being creative, we're not going to act like there aren't struggles in the mix.
Yeah.
And it's not difficult to balance both of them. But that's what we mean when knowing yourself.
Yeah.
So you have, one of the biggest things that I am happy that I learned and what was a shortcut to me and what my girl Tracy said is you have to know yourself as a creative. That's the most important part of being a creative, is knowing how you work and knowing what works best for you, because I feel like there's so many times where as creatives we're in such a, I don't want to say emotional landscape, but I'm going to say emotional landscape. Yeah. I don't think you can be creative and not have some emotion to what you do.
For sure.
Not be an emotional person.
Yeah.
So we start comparing people. And I start comparing my workflow to your workflow, and you just can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, you look at me, I'm gonna be up all night working on something because I enjoy the work. I like working. That's end of sentence. Yeah. I like working. You look at somebody else who does not like that, but they have a different type of flow.
Yeah.
It's all different, and it takes knowing yourself, and even from the simple fact of, do you know what time you work best?
Yes.
Because you're not a night person.
Yeah. No.
At all.
I'm not a night owl. I like early morning.
Yes.
Through like the afternoon. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, it start getting iffy for me.
Don't call me for nothing. No, that's how. Don't call me for nothing.
I start shutting down a little bit.
Sure. But see, that's important.
I really have to get something done. I know I can lock in.
Yeah.
And then to your point around having both a 9 to 5 and having a job, sometimes how I prefer to work or when I prefer to work doesn't matter, because it has to get done. And I only have so many hours in the day. So if I prefer to work 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., but I have all this work. That's what I'm learning now in this season. Mm-hmm. It's like I have to just buckle down, and I'm going to be working from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night or midnight. It just depends on what the workload is looking like. So, to your point, you also have to be flexible in the way you manage it. You know, there are preferences, but you might find yourself having to stretch yourself a little bit when it comes to how you work your schedule.
Yeah, no, that's true. And same. I remember, like, so for me, quite frankly, I work best off 9 to 5 schedule, doing everything. Like I just work best. I have my best like creative moments at like probably around 1 to, it's interesting that you said that, because 1 to 4 and then 6 to 9 are my ideal times.
Really?
I get busy during those days. That's where I do the most work. That's what I do. I get busy during those times.
Do you work weekends?
For myself? Or for like, yeah. I try not to. Because of family. So I try my hardest not to. But I'm sneaking something in. I ain't gonna hold nobody. I'm sneaking a little something in there. Whether it be just be on my laptop or my phone, just like writing something down. But it's like, and it's also one of those things where if you're doing both and you're a creative that has a regular job and you're doing a creative side hustle, you also have to give yourself grace when we talk about this. Like, it's hard. It's difficult. It's hard. You need to buckle down. That's just the reality of it. You have to buckle down. You're going to be tired. Sleep the next day. Like, you know, it's going to be okay. If you want it, you're going to get up. But that's how I feel about other things. Yeah. If you want it, you're just going to do it. It'll be okay if you're tired.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
And it's always worth it.
It is. If you're doing work that validates yourself, it's worth it. And it's all about giving yourself